Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Hey, Jordy, did you know that we're on other platforms too?
Really, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and if you would like to talk to us, Discord and Reddit.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, you should subscribe too. Thank you.
One take.
Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
Jeff? Jeff.
That's number Wang.
Okay. We ready?
That's Jeff Wang. We're already starting.
What?
Yeah, you already marked it, dude. This is the start.
Oh, okay.
Welcome, everyone. Hi. You've come back again. I'm quite surprised. It's episode
You are
13.
surprised, actually.
Yeah, I am. Episode 13. I'm back from camping. It was fun. I saw lots of nice things with my eyes, and I recorded them.
I saw birds and things and it was fun. Record video.
Yeah, and I did lots of walking.
Yeah.
And then I looked at things. And did I tell you about the goddamn turkey?
What?
Okay, alright, cool. So while I was camping, right, it's the middle of the night.
The one I made into ramen?
No, not that one.
Cool.
I wish that it was that turkey.
Okay.
So if you go camping in Australia, chances are you'll find these fucking bush turkey things with nut sacks for heads. Their heads are literally made out of like nutsack skin, and they have little hairs growing off of them.
That's just a turkey.
Yeah, but I just call them bush turkeys, I guess.
Okay.
And they always have like dangle nut sacks off their
Jordy, that's
chins
just
as well.
a turkey.
Yeah, but our ones look gross.
Okay.
Even grosser than a regular turkey, which people might be thinking about. And so it's the middle of the night, right? So I have all my food in my tent, and Zach was sleeping in the same tent with us.
Yeah.
So there's 3 people in this tent. And this turkey silently, now we saw him earlier that day, right? He was climbing a tree, just watching us. He was scoping out the place.
Menacingly.
Literally. He was actually genuinely scoping out our fucking tent.
I like to imagine it's just you, Zach, and Ryan, and then you see a turkey and you're like, that turkey is climbing up that tree awfully menacingly like.
He's up to no good.
Yeah, that turkey knows about us.
And so what this turkey did, right? He waited until we were all asleep, and I didn't think that I slept that night.
This turkey has higher reasoning, does he? He has technical,
Literally.
computational abilities.
This is a actual fucking super genius turkey. Because what he did, right, is in the middle of the night with 3 people sleeping in my tent,
Yeah.
he pecked through my tent. There is a hole in my tent now, about this big, if
Yeah.
you can see it. He pecked through my tent, through a Woolies bag, the green ones,
Man.
threw plastic into a loaf of bread and ate about half of it without waking any of us up.
With surgical precision.
Literally. So he must have smelt that I had a bag with my food in it up against the tent. He knew to peck through the tent,
like how you-
through the bag, through the plastic bag the bread was in.
You
and ate
said
the bread.
no one noticed, so you don't know if it was the turkey. You're just pinning. Maybe
That's
the
true.
turkey was the fall guy, and it was actually just Ryan because he really wanted bread, but he didn't want you to know he was eating bread. So he got a little knife and whittled out the side of the fucking tent, and then ate bread through a slot. And was like, "Wow, it was the turkey that we saw yesterday." Oh.
Well, if that's true, he painted the perfect crime.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I still believe it was that turkey. And I never saw him again after that day. I'm convinced he did it. He scoped out the joint and knew not to come back to the crime
Well, if you
scene.
saw the turkey again, then the story would fall through. So, I mean, Ryan had to take down the turkey to
Yeah.
create
Save
the
himself,
perfect story. Yeah.
And I was thinking to, when I woke up and I saw that, because I went to make some breakfast and I
Yeah.
took it out and I saw a hole in the bag and then a hole in the tent and all that shit. And I was like, I don't know whether to be mad or impressed.
Okay.
Because that was like what I couldn't even conceive that. 3 layers. And he ate most of the fucking, it was like a chunk this big
Yeah.
out of the bread.
He would have to have smell sensing nose. I guess noses do smell sense, but
Yeah.
smell seeking nose to find the bread through 3 layers and then get at it, you know?
Yeah, it was actually impressive.
Yeah.
But, other than that, it was good. I made a nice little film, made some music for it. Anyway, it's boring.
That's your topic.
No one cares.
Goodbye.
No one cares.
Yeah.
Today, what I'm doing is I'm listening to a few old episodes, and I thought today, philosophy's coming back. Whether it's just for
Philosophy
today.
2 Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, that joke is in here.
Yeah.
It is actually in here. So I'll skip it, seeing as how you just said it, and I thought you might anyway. I did this episode where I was reading out a bunch of scenarios, do you remember? Ages ago. So I have a few more.
Because they were bullshit.
They were bullshit, but these ones
Bullshit.
aren't me trying to make you kill people.
Okay.
Not all of them.
Cool.
At least. So these ones I've actually looked up rather than come up with my own ones. So, you know, that's how you know they'll probably be a little bit better. Don't know how long this one's going to go. So it could be a really short one. It might not be. I don't know. But I thought, you know what? Let's bring a bit of philosophy back, because why not? People enjoy that shit, right? I like season 1 better. Season 1 was better when they didn't talk about tent pegs.
I was trying to find a way to mention tent pegs during your camping story.
Yeah.
You just didn't bring it up.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I mean...
Jordy, how many tent pegs did you leave with?
None, because I made sure I brought them all and then stole other people's.
See,
this is not happening.
You said
again.
None, so you didn't
This is not
bring any tent pegs?
I am not doing this. Scenario
Okay.
1. Okay, so for these ones, I've tried to write them so that, like, you're in the scenario.
Okay, opposed to some other random person.
Yeah, because most of them are just, like, they explain the scenario and then make you think about it. But I think for this case, everyone at home, if you're listening, try and imagine yourself in Tommy's place.
Okay.
Just so you can, you know, what would you do? Not that you can tell us, but you can
Stomach
think about it.
grumbling, picking up on the mic.
Yeah. So scenario 1 is you and a friend. You know, it could be me.
I guess
it could
I'll
be
work
someone
you into
else.
this.
But you might not be able to answer this one as well if I'm present in the room. But so
I would kill you, yes.
you've planned out a bank heist, right? And you and an accomplice, who you trust, you know, you're good friends. You plan it out, but you get caught, right? So you're taken downtown, down to the station, and the officer says this to you. He goes, "Listen here, son. This can be real easy for you. I got a deal I want to run by you. If you fess up now and you sell out your partner, you walk free. If you stay quiet, you'll get a worse sentence."
Why would they need to sell us out if they have us both at the bank?
Well, here's the thing. I'm going to give this deal to the other guy as well. And if he fesses up and you don't,
Okay.
then, you know, he walks free and you go to prison.
This is that one problem that doesn't have a solution. This one like computer problem, whatever. It's to do with like non-inclusive answers or something. I don't know. It's some sort of model problem.
Is a it's a strange thing. It's like, what do humans do if they have literally no information to work on? Like, what reasoning is it? Because part of the conundrum is, so if you stay quiet and let's say I fess up and rat you out, which I wouldn't do.
Yeah, you do more time than the other guy.
Yeah, but if you both fess up, you get a very short sentence. But if neither of you fess up, you both get extended sentences.
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's like if you at home are thinking about it, like, what would you do? Would you sell out your friend? Pretend it's your closest friend or your partner or something.
100% the other guy's going to fess up because he's literally going to go to prison, and that's the only way to reduce the time.
But he won't go to prison if he sells you out.
But if I sell him out as well, then it's just both like, it's neutral.
So I think what you would have to do...
He's going to sell me out no matter what, because it's fucking prison time.
I don't think I would.
Yes, you fucking would. Jordy, if we robbed a bank and they were like, okay, you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life unless you say yes to a single fucking question.
So you would rat me out?
We would both rat each other out.
I wouldn't rat you out.
Yes, you would. You absolutely would.
No, I wouldn't.
Because you're going to go to fucking prison if you don't.
But I did it.
You can't. Yeah, we both did it.
I would. You know what? This is
Jordy,
truth.
I wouldn't
this is
rob a
truth
bank
right
in the
here.
first place.
This is a bad judge of character for me, probably. But what I would probably do is I would say nothing and hope that you ratted me out so that you could go free.
I was gonna do that, but
that's what I would do.
That's what I was gonna do as well. I was just gonna say nothing or not take it, because why the fuck would I? I don't give a shit.
I would just hope that you ratted me out.
If I robbed the bank, I would have thank you. But if I robbed the bank, I'm gonna, you know, I would rob a bank if I was okay with going to prison.
At least if we both did it and we both fessed up, which might happen, then we would.
That's going to happen. That's 100%.
Yeah,
that's
we would
100%.
serve like a pretty light sentence. So
are police ever going to have someone not fucking try to get like better time?
Oh, dude, like there's people who would definitely go to jail for their friends, right? Like who wouldn't sell each other out and would just sit there in silence and literally take a longer sentence just to like remain in a certain position in a gang or something.
Yeah, but we're not in a gang though.
No, that's true. Yeah,
we would both like rat each other out. That's just you absolutely would.
I probably maybe
because like it's prison, or you know, it's
the
fucking
scenario.
prison.
The scenario didn't set out like times. If it was like if I didn't rat you out, if we both didn't rat each other out, we were looking at life, which we would be.
Yeah, but you know how fucking terrible prison is. So
yeah, which was 25 years, right? That's the usual, what's the word? Calculation is 25 years plus, right? But for a bank heist, it wouldn't be more. You probably wouldn't even get 25. But if it was 1 year, if we both ratted each other out, that would make sense to me. So I would do that.
If it was not that much time, like if we didn't like murder anyone or like cause any harm, and it was just like, oh yeah, you get 5 years in like maximum security, like I wouldn't rat anyone out. I'd just be like, yeah, just do 5 years.
In all honesty, like based on what I've learned, you wouldn't get more than probably 10 max. That's probably
if
you held up at gunpoint a bunch of people, took shitloads of money from a massive bank, then you would get like 10.
Yeah.
All right. Scenario number 2. This one's a little more intricate, but it's just a thinking one, just a bit of a thinking exercise, which I guess all these are, I suppose. You'll still understand it, though. I'm not worried. It's known as the knowledge argument. Okay, you might have heard a retelling of this.
Knowledge.
I suppose that's true. So you're a renowned, outstanding scientist. Okay. You know,
outstanding isn't a good thing for a scientist. Science is about not standing out.
Yeah, they like to be in the background as much as possible.
Science is about common fucking methodology and repeatable like outcomes. You don't want to stand out as a scientist.
Yeah, that's true. But in this case, you just happen to know everything there is to know about eyes and perception and why the sky is blue. You know everything about how the receptors that make you think certain things or whatever, like everything you can see, you know everything about that, right? Okay. But here's the catch, right? You have been in a black and white room your entire life. And all the information that you've learned is from text in books, black and white, and a monitor that is in black and white.
Okay.
And the scenario is, if I was, and you know everything there is to possibly know, if I was to introduce you out into the world and see color for the first time, would that change any of your knowledge?
Blind people can see color. People who were born blind see color in their dreams. And white is color, black is color. So I don't think it would change much. It would be like, wow, I'm seeing colors, you know, but I don't think it would change too much, to be honest.
Yeah, it's. I think like
the brain can just synthesize color in your head to show you. Be like, hey, this is what this looks like.
Yeah, you'd probably like weirdly fill shit in, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Like you would just make a reference for red and for green and for whatever.
Well, like people who have been blinded after birth or born from blind from birth have described seeing color in their dreams. So
that's kind of crazy, isn't it? So like, how the fuck would you even know? Like, what reference is like happening there?
Well, you know what like color is.
But how, if you've never seen it, you have no reference.
You have concept of things, and things have qualities.
We've mentioned this on the show before. Blind people don't see black; they see nothing.
Yeah. But like to them, it's just not even anything. Blind people know what things are, and color is a aspect of a thing. Color is a property of a thing.
Wouldn't that be totally fucking crazy if like someone who was like been 100% blind their whole life.
I don't think they would even see. I don't think the brain would know.
You would touch things like this marker here, and you would like have a weird projection in your brain of what it might look like.
Well, you know,
and then all of a sudden someone turns your eyes on somehow.
Blind people know what things look like because they can feel the actual structure of them.
Yeah, but I mean, but you wouldn't be able to see that this cap is black and this like there's writing on it or anything.
It doesn't matter.
And then all of a sudden there's like all these details which you didn't know about.
I think someone who's born from birth blind, if you just suddenly had the ability to give them vision, I don't think it would work. I don't think their brain would literally know how to accept that information.
Yeah, that's kind of like freaky, isn't it?
It would be like physical therapy. They would need years of like training to like actually understand the information being put into their eyes.
Your brain would probably just fucking break if you could just like switch it on.
Yeah. It would probably just be perceived as pain.
Yeah.
It's just because we can look at bright things and feel pain. Imagine not receiving that information and then suddenly like literally like the reason why we feel pain when we see things is because we can see the like amount of light. Whereas like we're used to seeing this amount of light, whereas when you wake up in the morning, you're not used to seeing that amount of light because your eyelids are shut.
Yeah.
So it feels painful because you're not used to that amount of light. if you just suddenly turned on the eyes of a blind person, that amount of light, they've never felt that before. That'd just be pain.
That's insane. Because when you're sleeping, that's like, what, 7-8 hours?
Yeah.
If you have a good night's sleep and it hurts?
Yeah.
That's what, fucking 30 years?
I think just any amount of light would be fucking painful for a blind person.
That's really crazy.
Yeah.
All right, this one, I think I might have said this one before, but I can't really remember. So if I have, I do apologize. This one is actually what turned me on to the spiraling rabbit hole that is the outer minds theory, which we've talked about before. All right, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure we have said this one, but I'll say it again. So imagine you and I and everyone else in the entire world has a box, and in the box is a beetle. Now, no one can see anyone else's beetle.
I think I laughed at this last time.
Yeah, probably. No one can see anyone else's beetle except their own, right? So everyone is then asked to describe their beetle. There may be differences between the beetles, or they could be exactly the same. But some people will be more inclined to lie based on the descriptors of other people's beetles. And some people will...
Yeah, but the thing about that, you still know other people have a beetle because they're holding a box and you have a box with a beetle in it, and everyone says they have a beetle in the box.
But they just might not.
Why would that even be a thing?
Know?
Why
because that's the thing, right?
Why are you so special that you're the only person in the world with the beetle?
No, but I'm not saying I'm the only person in the world. I'm just saying that, like, I could have a different one to someone else.
You could have, like, goo in your brain. I could have
the same one as someone else.
You'd have a bunch of crayons in your head.
But someone else is using a strange descriptor to talk about it that makes me think theirs is different.
They're using, like, a HTML, XML packet field descriptor that just doesn't match up with your one, huh?
Something like that.
They're using UTF-8 encoding instead of the old ASCII, you know? That's a bit different. They're trying to lie about that. They're trying to lie about their parser can accept fucking emojis, except theirs can only accept ASCII, you know?
I don't. I don't think anyone else listening does either.
You said the word descriptor, which is commonly used for, like, packet field kind of things, and it kind of triggered a memory in my brain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This one was just, I mean, like, because it applies to other people. It doesn't have to be the beetle in the box. It can be like, I don't know what you're thinking. I'll never know what you perceive. Exactly. you might look at yourself and think, gee, I'm made out of hot dogs. Okay. And I would just never know.
We're made out of a lot of the similar things as hot dogs are made out of.
Yeah. That's why you can graft a hot dog to your genital area.
Judy, I can cut your head open and see a brain in there. You can have surgery.
I wouldn't know, though, because I would be under.
You could have surgery and they could, like, be awake and show you your brain.
I have never seen a human brain in real life that is
I don't think many people have.
I don't even know if I have a brain.
Yeah.
It certainly doesn't feel like it.
There are kids who are just born with, like, no brain. They have, like, a little pea, and then they just grow a brain. But even then, there's that one dude who only had half a brain.
What?
And he was still perfectly fine.
So he was just really creative?
Okay. You can, like, the brain is so, like, good at what it does that you could literally just have a brain the size of, like, an apple and you'd be fine.
Wow.
Maybe your foot twitches in a weird way and that's it.
So what, there would just be no health implications with that?
No, because your brain is so good at adapting.
Actually, you would probably be very resistant to concussions.
Yeah, probably.
If you have a tiny little brain.
Exactly.
It's actually good.
Except at the point of where concussions would hurt you, it would just break your skull, so it kind of defeats the purpose.
Okay, well,
yeah,
that's a downside. Maybe I won't shrink my brain then.
No.
I'll think about it.
Honey, it's 3 p.m. It's time for your brain shrinking.
This next one's an interesting one. So imagine yourself at a urinal.
Okay. I would never, because urinals are disgusting and I'd never use them.
This one couldn't be further from... We're really, both of us, are going to have to try for this one, because this one is called the spider in the urinal.
I've seen urinals, Jordy.
Yeah. And I've seen spiders,
I've used one when I was a kid and I didn't know better.
But this one, we're really going to have to try hard.
I would pee on the spider, Jordy.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So... You're at work, right? You're at the office, the 9 to 5.
I don't have a urinal at work.
Well, really?
Yeah.
No. Actually, I don't either.
Why the fuck would you have urinal?
Okay, so imagine you're at a urinal that you go to every day, right? At the shopping center. There's one that you go to every day, okay? And you notice there's a little spider guy. Okay. But he's in on the porcelain part of the urinal, right? So he's struggling.
Porcelain urinal.
Well, the shit that it's made out of, ceramic, whatever, right? He's on the ceramic.
Oh, you're talking about the single person urinals?
Yeah.
Not the big wall of metal?
Yeah, like not the wall of metal.
okay,
the
right,
white ones. And he's struggling to get out, little guy. Okay.
Yeah.
And you've seen him here for the past like week, right? And
I'm pretty germophobic, so I would not save him. I wouldn't risk touching the pee to save a spider.
I figured you would.
Mostly because I hate spiders.
But here's the thing, right?
Yeah.
So
that spider can give you 3 wishes if you save him.
No, not quite. So you decide that for some reason you're a monster and you're going to save this spider, okay?
Yeah.
So you put a piece of paper towel out there and he climbs on and you put him down on the ground,
You
right?
don't just grab him?
If you are out there and you just grab spiders with your bare hands, you actually need to be
out of a urinal.
You need to be institutionalized.
Yeah.
You are not safe to roam the streets. You're actually just not.
Literally not.
Literally not. So you start to feel bad for the little guy, right? So you get the piece of paper, he climbs on, you put him in the corner of the room, right? And he just stands there. He just stands there
on his 2 legs.
So you're like, oh, okay, I've taken 45 minutes for this piss. I should probably go back to work. So you walk outside, you do your work, you come back the next day, and he's still just standing there, exactly the same spot. He hasn't moved. And you think that's really weird.
Yeah.
So this is before work, right? You've seen him in there. So you go back again that day, you need a pee again, and he's dead in exactly the same spot with his legs up in the air, curled up. You know how they get when they're dead.
Not up in the air, they crawl into a ball because their legs are hydraulic.
Yeah. So whatever, he's dead, right? In exactly the same spot. Now, this one is just an interesting
Turns out Hitler time traveled and killed that spider, but if you left it in the urinal, he would get scared, fall backwards, and die. So by saving that spider, you've let Hitler live.
I mean, that's an alternate timeline. That definitely did happen.
I really want to know where this is going.
No, that's pretty much it.
What the fuck?
No, let me finish.
Okay.
It's a conundrum about ethical decisions, right?
There's no ethical decision.
Yes, there is.
No, there's not.
You chose to save the spider because you felt empathy for this spider, right? You were like,
I didn't want the spider to jump on my dick.
This is why I said you have to pretend to be someone else. I almost didn't put this one in because I knew you'd be a fucking bitch about it.
You just don't care about the spider jumping on your dick?
You don't do it with your penis out.
You don't pee at a urinal with your...
You pee, and then you go, oh, I'm going to save this spider. So you get the piece of paper after you've zipped yourself
Jordy,
up, and your extremities are as far away from the death machine as possible.
The reason why I would remove the spider is because I don't want it to be near my penis while I'm peeing.
Okay, so you do it before. It doesn't matter as long as your penis isn't out. I never in my life did I assume that your cock was out while you were doing this.
If you don't remove the spider, then that happens. So you have to remove the spider. You have to either kill it or remove it.
You've taken all the poetic justice out of this.
Okay, what's the moral decision?
You felt bad for the spider.
I didn't feel bad for it.
Yes, exactly. But a normal person probably would.
You were about to say the spider was gay?
No, I was going to say that you felt bad for the spider. You thought you were doing, its best interest to move it, but you ended up killing it.
How did I kill it?
Because I don't know. It's just like it's just an ethical.
I didn't kill the spider.
It's just an ethical. Yes, you did because you picked him up and you moved him. Turns out he was getting nutrients from the piss somehow. I don't know. I don't know. It's like he was probably eating the flies in the urinal and you moved him to a point where he can't eat them anymore.
Okay, so there's not flies in the corner of a fucking bathroom?
I don't know. It's a thought experiment.
That's not even a choice. That doesn't have any...
It's just to make you think that like sometimes the smallest decision
like
can...
Salvador Dali shit. What the fuck is this?
It's like the butterfly effect. You know, like you can do something that you think is in someone's best interest and it can lead to something terrible.
The butterfly effect only is relevant if you are a time traveler.
I have made a grave mistake including that in here.
It just doesn't make sense.
It does make sense. Anyone out there who isn't a...
Let me tell you how you would tell this story. You would say that the spider died because someone walked into the corner and stepped on it accidentally.
Well, that probably is what happened.
You didn't say that, though, so it just makes no sense. It just sounds like the spider died anyway. Like, there was no relevance to any decision. Like, I think the spider would have died no matter what. So what the fuck is the point?
The implication was, from when I was reading this, that the spider got fucking depressed somehow, and then it just stayed still and died because it didn't like it.
Because it can't wallow in piss?
I don't know. I don't know. I just wanted to include it because I was able to glean something from it.
There are no inputs and outputs to that question.
I do regret it deeply now.
Yeah.
So let's go on to the next one before I cry. This is a quick but effective one. So you're God, right?
Sure.
You're God. You have a big office.
I'm a big cloud in the sky with like blinking lights and shit.
Yeah. And you're like, you know what? This Earth is pretty fucked. I'm gonna make a new one. Let's call it Electric.
Didn't we do this again?
Earth 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Didn't we do this?
We did something similar, but this is different. So you've made Earth 2 Electric Boogaloo, and you have 2 buttons in front of you.
Okay.
One...
I like get my arm at the side and just smash both at the same time.
One spawns 10 billion people.
Yeah.
The other spawns 20. Now, you know, based on... You've done your calculations. You're a good god, right? You've done your calculations. You know that if you spawn 10 billion, that they're going to have a good life, right? You're not going to use too much of the world's resources.
Is this Conway's Game of Life? What is happening here?
What do you mean?
Conway's Game of Life is a little cell simulation thing where you can create cells of life forms, and they have to have certain requirements. They have to have at least 2 cells next to each other or else they'll die. They can't have more than 2 or else they'll get overcrowded. And if they're just by themselves, they'll like die. If there's exactly 3, I think, adjacent, then they'll reproduce.
It's not really. This one's pretty surface level. So you have the 10 and the 20. Now, you know, if you use the 20 button, that there'll be an extra 10 billion lives who will get the chance to experience life and have the possibility of a good life. But if you have 20 billion, you know that they're going to use up pretty much everything there is on that planet. So the question really is, would you give an extra 10 billion people the chance to live, or would you just ensure that 10 billion have a good life?
What insane developer decided that a multi-purpose button should be used for a single action?
That's true.
Why isn't this just static functions?
That's the real question here, isn't it?
Why isn't this just static functions that I can put in the definer and then the preprocessor can run these?
/spawn.
That's why
10,000.
These are multi-use actions. No, these are single-use actions, single-run actions.
Tom,
on
I'm
a multi-use
restricting it
trigger.
to make it a moral problem. Otherwise, it's not a moral
Jordy,
problem.
that's just bad for optimization. You have to poll the buttons to check them to spawn, whereas the buttons are only going to be pressed once, so you don't need to poll them continuously. You just have a trigger to single trigger it. You're just wasting resources on checking the buttons.
I wish I got paid to do this. I wish I was getting paid, man. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting paid.
I'm God, so I can just make things better, sir.
No. Fuck, this is irritating.
So
How do we do a whole year of philosophy,
So I'm not
dude?
a God, I'm just some dude with buttons in front of me?
Yeah, there's 2 buttons, you have to press one, you can't fix it. Which one do you press?
How do I know that 20 billion people are going to suffer?
Fuck you.
That's not even a question then.
You know the parameters of this planet. It can safely inhabit, let's say, 15 billion.
Let me distill the conundrum you've given me. You're saying
the question is, would you give an extra 10 billion people lives?
This is what you're saying. You're saying that if you press the 10 billion button, everything is fine and okay and nothing goes wrong. But if you press the 20 billion button, then there's issues and everyone dies.
There's a chance.
Why would I fucking ever press the second button when I can just press the first button?
Because an extra 10 billion
Those
people get to live.
Those people weren't going to exist in the first place.
But they could have if you press the button.
They could not. They could not.
That's the question, though.
But they're gonna suffer.
So
Jordy.
you would
they're
just
gonna
press
suffer.
They might
because I'm an incompetent god and I don't know how to fucking manage resources.
Might suffer.
You literally are saying one button gives you fucking shortbread cookies and one other gives you them, but they might have fucking mold in them.
But they could be even better than the first one.
Why would I ever press the second button when I could just
press the second one?
So you can just potentially get poisoned by shortbread?
No, I don't like shortbread that much.
Well, then why
would
would
I press the second one? Because
you'd waste polling resources on pressing that second button.
What?
You just waste resources checking if that button isn't pressed?
No, I would just
to trigger a single action.
Think that it would be better and the world would create better things if there was an extra 10 billion people
Jordy,
on it.
If this is something you only do once, why do you need buttons that can be pressed multiple times?
I don't know.
Why isn't this?
I didn't make it up.
Then why are you telling it to me?
Fucking hell.
Why would I?
Next one.
Yeah.
I'm done. For our last scenario, I'd like everyone to imagine that you know absolutely nothing.
Okay.
You know nothing.
That'll be easy for you.
That's what I literally have that joke in there. The next sentence I was about to read is just imagine you're me for a bit.
The funniest part is that I'm doing that. There's 4 levels of irony in there.
Yeah.
None of us are doing this for any serious reason. We're just doing it because we know each other are going to say it.
Yeah.
Which is the funniest part.
So this one is kind of a cool one. I like thinking about this one. So imagine that this big brother, this entity, right, just says...
Deep state.
So it's going to be almost impossible to think about, but try your best. Try and go along with it. Okay. Try and work with me on this one. It's the last one. And they say to you, all right, make a government.
I've answered this before.
You have answered this before, but there's an extra layer to this one, right? So you would make whatever you would make, right? And I would willing to bet that the majority of people would have probably fair system of punishment if you do something wrong, like education for most people, right? Whatever. So you think about it at home, right? And then what would happen is you would lock it in, Eddie, and then you would be transported to the country with the closest system to what you had in mind, right? So what I thought was funny, well, not funny, but interesting, is like you could put in something that like, I want to live as free as possible, and you could end up in a back street in India. You could end up in, like, because it's all relative, right? Because it's where you live.
I don't know where this is going.
It's okay. Well, it's like if you're transported.
Is this some sort of app you're trying to sell me?
You can download it now on the App Store. But no, it's just like, it's hard for me to phrase it out loud. This one was hard for me to write down, and I've clearly not done a good enough job of it. But it's like, so you write down exactly what you wanted, and then all of a sudden you're transported into the closest thing of it. And then I just think it's interesting because I don't think anyone would end up in the same place.
Can I write down some sort of milk-based biscuit and then be transported next to a shortbread factory?
Probably.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, you could end up being a millionaire in Russia. I don't know. Yeah. What's that? You have 5 potatoes?
Shortbread connoisseur.
Yeah, you could be a shortbread taster.
Yeah.
And have millions of dollars for it. You're the finest taster in the world. Anyway, that concludes that sad episode. If you played along at home, I hope you had more fun than I did.
I don't want to be mean, but I genuinely don't understand what that last one was.
Yeah, I didn't explain that last one very well, and also I'm not putting my all into it at the moment.
Okay, cool.
So, if you are interested in looking at some of these, if you just search philosophical conundrums, and you'll probably find a lot of them.
Click the first link with big red text.
Probably. Yeah. I looked at a few of them for this one, but there weren't many that I hadn't already remembered that I had done. But I wanted to do these because people missed the philosophy.
The entertainment is me fucking with you and saying your things are stupid.
I think the entertainment is people thinking about the philosophy questions at home. So maybe that's where we differ.
I don't think that's true.
From the information I've got from the people that listen, it's not that. It's that they like to think about it and hear what other people have to say about it. If they answer it and don't make fun of it.
I'm giving you answers and like questions you never even fucking conceived of.
Well, that's true. So if you're listening at home and Tom helped you, let us know.
I'd be
in
the perfect QA tester.
You probably would, actually. Yeah. You would be, because you always like have the first, like, without even thinking about it, you usually have a rebuttal that I never would have thought of ever. Because I'm so fucking surface level when I think about shit. And I don't like that about myself, but my brain don't work no good. So I just look at stuff and I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
If you can believe it, the stuff I'm saying is surface level for me.
Yeah, I believe
what
that.
I think about.
I'm just like the dog from Up. I just see things and I'm like, squirrel? That's interesting. I don't know how else to explain that.
Why is squirrel?
Wow, now you're asking the real questions. Ending it on a high one for that one.
Because up.
Why is squirrel?
Because up, Yeah.
High. Okay.
Balloons.
Yeah, we need to end this now.
Goodbye.